Hi everybody and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. In today's video we've got two stories and both of them have updates, so let's get started with the first one. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole and it's by user StrangeTadpole3749. Am I the a-hole for not coming to terms with the fact that my wife cheated on me 14 years ago before our marriage? I, 35 male, have been married to my wife, 37 female, for 11 years and have been together for 14. We have a beautiful 7-year-old daughter and our marriage has been great without any major problems until last year. Last year, I learned that my wife cheated on me before our marriage. One of her friends became religious and confessed her actions to me, which had me confront my wife. She was shocked that I had known about it and apologized profusely for her actions. However, she said it's not something important now because we have been going strong and have a family together. She told me I should come to terms with it since it happened 4 months into being exclusive, and she was a stupid girl out of college back then. My mind told me the same. It happened 14 years ago and we are happy right now. I decided to forgive her and continue our usual life. But reality was not that great. My mental health took a big hit. I realized it's not something that happened 14 years ago for me. The cheating happened to me when my wife confirmed it. I was less confident and could not have sex with my wife. I just could not get an erection for her. This turned into feeling disgusted being around her. I even took DNA and STD tests secretly. Thankfully, our daughter is mine and I am clear of STDs. Then, a year of intense therapy started for me. I realized I needed to change somehow. I was not the same person I used to be. I also communicated my feelings to my wife, and after pushing a bit, we started going to couples counseling too. However, at the end of everything, I decided to proceed with divorce. Here are my reasons. 1. She not only cheated back then, but lied to me for 14 years. She did not confess the action herself. Even though she apologized, she dismissed the fact by saying it's not important anymore. 2. Young me was robbed of having a choice. Cheating was, and still is, one of the biggest deal breakers for me. If I had known it back then, I would have broken it off. I am happy with my life and I am glad that our daughter came to the world. She is the light that shines the brightest for me. It is one of the biggest reasons I keep living, but I was still robbed of a choice back then. 3. Individual counseling and marriage counseling could not understand our problems and my feelings towards her. It also started affecting family life, which could affect our daughter. I think our daughter would be better off having us as co-parents instead of living in a broken family environment where consistent arguments are present. And 4. Sex life is basically dead for me. We do have sex, but I feel like those women on film or series that just lay and look at the ceiling waiting for it to be over. The only difference is that I am a man. I do not even want non-sexual gestures anymore. Last week, I had a sit down with my wife and explained everything I wrote here in detail. My feelings, my reasons, and some other private things. I have been talking to a lawyer for the last month, and the papers are almost finalized. 50-50 custody, 50-50 assets sharing, and as amicable as possible. I explained everything thoroughly and clearly to her. She freaked out and had a panic attack. We spent the night at the ER. She is begging me to reconsider and not throw away 14 years. However, even though I would like to stay, it will result in us being roommates and a broken family environment for our daughter. Am I in the wrong here? Well, OP, in my opinion, no. I think you are absolutely in the right. I mean, your reasons are more than clear. If she would have come clean 14 years ago, you would have broken the relationship. And the fact that she's telling you now that you should get over it, like it's suddenly your problem when she was the one that cheated, that pissed me off. You all know I don't like cheaters, I don't like cheating, and I'd never forgive something like that. It's not like 14 years suddenly erased what she did. Just like you, OP, I think these 14 years just made it worse because she's been lying to you for 14 years. And just like you, OP, I believe that the route that you're taking is the only way forward. The trust has been broken. There can be no relationship without trust. And again, the fact that she told you that you need to deal with it is like her saying, well, you don't trust me, that's your problem. You need to find a way to trust me again. The nerve, man. No, OP, I don't think you're the a-hole, and I think you should move forward with your decision because it's what's gonna be best for you and your daughter. Your wife, I don't care much about her. And what do you guys think? What is your judgment? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's move on to the community comments to see what they said. Awolt says, this isn't an a-hole or not question. You aren't able to love her the way you did before. You no longer trust her. Your relationship is dysfunctional. Therapy didn't help. Calling you, or her, after all she's the cheater, an a-hole will solve absolutely nothing. All you can do now is to make the separation as smooth as possible for your daughter. Biddyberry says, not the a-hole, and I'll tell you why. Quote, even though she apologized, she dismissed the fact by saying it's not important anymore. End quote. The only thing that infuriates me more than cheating is someone being dismissive of their cheating because it happened so long ago. It's not old news for you. For you, it just happened because you just found out. Now, even if your wife had been truly apologetic and contrite, I would say you weren't the a-hole for not being able to let this go. The fact that she tried to sweep it under the rug and pretend like it doesn't matter, this is a huge red flag. Plus, you clearly can't look at her the same way. Get out. It's a shame you couldn't have found out earlier, but at least you know now. End the marriage, it's best for both of you and your child. And the Enki Locker says, this one is difficult for sure. I think only you know the severity of what will happen if you follow through with divorce. Can you see yourself living without this woman for the rest of your life? Can you be okay with a potential stepfather in your daughter's life? You have to consider these things heavily before making this decision. You have all rights to feel the way you do. You have a lot to factor in here though. You're not the a-hole. This is tough for anyone to go through. Additional information from OP's comments. I did communicate both during marriage counseling and one-on-one discussions. It's not even being able to perform. The bad thing is that I do not even want to hug or hold hands anymore. Being present around her is uncomfortable too. I would not say hatred, but just uncomfortable. Therapy did not help that feeling so far. It solved my initial anger and I came to terms with the reality, but that's it. Her cheating happened about 4 months into being an exclusive couple, girlfriend and boyfriend. It happened on a girls' trip they went together. My wife confirmed it. Her friend told me she could not hold the secret of sin anymore and decided to confess. We discussed everything clearly when becoming exclusive and announced each other as boyfriend and girlfriend. We also included boundaries, needs, and wants from a relationship. Therefore, I do not think there was any confusion or miscommunication from that side. The divorce paper is basically an agreement with blank sections, including custody, asset sharing, and other marital matters. I proposed my side to her, and she is free to consult with a lawyer to propose her side. Both sides meet and agree. Then this agreement is proposed to a family court in case of an amicable divorce to get an appointment for the court case. I let her know beforehand that I'm considering divorce and getting the draft agreement ready, so she should also consult with a lawyer. Alright, well, some people were unable to judge OP and they had valid reason for it, and some people judged him to not be the a-hole. And some people urged OP to think about all the possible repercussions. Regardless of this and from the additional context, I get the idea that OP still wants to move forward with divorce. So let's now move on to the update to see how this story ends. But before that, if you're enjoying this video, please don't forget to click that like button, write a comment, and of course subscribe if you haven't done so yet. Now, let's continue with the update. Firstly, I want to thank everyone for their ideas and input about my situation. Some people reached out to me on Reddit chat to state their opinions, and we had long talks. They have been incredibly helpful, and I want to thank them especially. Some people asked if we went to counseling together. Yes, we have been visiting a counselor for over a year now on top of my individual counseling. I understand blowing up a marriage for something that happened 14 years ago is not logical. However, my feelings towards my wife got even worse after counseling and therapy. It started with not being able to trust her, converted to not wanting sex, then not wanting non-sexual gestures, and finally I'm not even comfortable being in the same space as her. We have been less than roommates in the last couple of months. I do not hate or resent her, but I just cannot shake off the feelings. I would say I forgave her, but it's not about forgiving anymore when there are no feelings and love. I do not want my daughter to grow up in such an environment. I know how hurtful it can be. I experienced a similar situation with my parents, but the genders were reversed. Living in such an environment breaks you as a child and a teen. I would have much preferred if my mother just divorced my dad instead of staying for my sake. This being said, I had a long talk with my wife this morning. She has not been eating much since visiting the ER, and I am concerned for her well-being and safety. Some Redditors who reached out suggested considering separation before proceeding with the divorce and seeing if my feelings would change. That is very logical actually, and I proposed this idea to my wife, and she was happy to hear it. I have an upcoming business trip to the Netherlands next week, and I am planning to extend my stay and stay with my sister once I am back. My wife abruptly suggested a one-sided open marriage, and I can do what I want on that business trip if it'll save the relationship, make us even, and change my feelings. I rejected it because it has nothing to do with that. Even if it changed something for me, it would devastate her knowing I cheated on her in the future. It's not something easy to get over and not an easy decision. That is all the update. We'll try separation for a while, and depending on the result, I'll make my decision. Thank you for all the help and opinions. Well, OP, I can't say it's a happy or positive update because you're still going to see how it's going on. But in the end, whatever is best for you and your child is, I think, the best outcome. Whether that be divorce, or if you decide to forgive her, which it's not something I personally would do, but that's up to you, of course. And if that works out for you, well, good for you as well. So here's wishing for whatever outcome is best for you regarding this situation, OP. Thank you for sharing and take care. And now, let's move on to the next post that, like I said in the beginning, also has an update. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole, and it's by user Reboots Are Such a Pain. Would I be the a-hole? My niece wants my wedding dress and I think I'm going to refuse. I married 30 years ago and was lucky enough to have a custom-made dress. I was very thin at the time and the dress design I chose was not typical 90s. Think more Regency style dress. I stored it away and carried on with life. I was blessed with sons and one daughter. I will be honest, my daughter is a totally different body shape to me, and I realized when she hit puberty, she would never wear my dress. She has a beautiful hourglass figure, whereas I was catwalk model thin. My brother has two adult daughters. One is built like my daughter and the other is thinner. This is the one who asked for my dress after she got engaged at Christmas. I don't like this girl. She is immature for a 27-year-old, she is an attention seeker and intentionally unemployed hypochondriac. She's one of those people on Facebook who posts cryptic comments, and when someone inquires what's wrong, she responds with, "I'll message you, hun." I dread any family events with her attendance because guaranteed she will become ill at some point, and her mom will have to take her home or find her a room to rest. Or talk over the speeches or demand to dance with the host. Every time it gets old. I don't have a close relationship with anyone on that side, and my husband and kids thinks she has Munchausen, so she texts me, "Hi auntie, I just got engaged and really want to wear your dress for the big day. Have you still got it?" I haven't responded yet. I called my mom asking how my niece even knew about the dress. She said because she told her. Mom said that she offered the dress knowing it was stored away and that because my niece was on a budget, using my dress would be a great idea. She also said, "And it's not like your daughter will wear it because she's so large." That hurt. She's not large. She's got boobs and a butt that women pay good money for. There's a difference. So after laying into my mother about insulting my kid and then laying into her again for offering something that didn't even belong to her, I hung up. I'm not a sentimental person. I love the dress, but if my daughter wanted to cut it up and use pieces of it, I wouldn't mind. I just don't want to see it on my niece, and I don't want to deal with the drama if I say no. Would I be the a-hole if I refused? Well, OP, no, of course you wouldn't be the a-hole. It's your dress. You get to decide whatever you want to do with it. If you want to cut it up in pieces and have a wedding dress confetti party, sure, you could absolutely do that. I don't know why you would, but you could definitely do that. And no one can guilt trip you into giving it to somebody else. Also, some nerve in your mom. I don't know why some people have the idea that they can just offer somebody else's time, services, or crap to somebody else. But I hate it when somebody does that. And in that kind of situation, I would just hang them out to dry and tell the receiving party that no, they were lied to. In any case, bottom line, OP, is no, you would not be the a-hole. The dress is yours, you get to choose what to do with it. And what do you guys think about OP's situation? What is your judgment? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's move on to the community comments to see what they said. Onyx Dragon Lady says, not the a-hole, it's your dress. Also, your daughter could totally add fabric to the dress and wear it herself. Your mom had no right to offer something that wasn't hers. Even if you had no children, the dress is yours. Tell your niece that your daughter and you have plans to alter the dress for her and wish her luck in her dress shopping. Raiwan says, not the a-hole, and definitely within your rights to say no, but save yourself a ton of grief and tell everyone. I hadn't looked at my dress in years, so this prompted me to pull it out of storage. I was devastated to discover that it had gotten damp and was all covered in mold. I've sent it away to a restorer, but I won't know for months whether they'll be able to do anything with it. I'm so sorry, but it just won't be an option for you. In a few years' time, when your daughter or son's fiance or whoever you want is a candidate for using it, it was amazing what the restorer was able to do. You can't even tell. And Diggity Diggity Doo says, niece, so sorry Granny said my dress was available. It is not. Best wishes on your engagement. Auntie, not the a-hole. Additional information from OP's comments. To clarify, I don't hate her. I could list the things I admire about her, but it still wouldn't make me want to give her my dress. Also, my mother has her moments. One Christmas Eve years ago, she called me to tell me she had just invited distant relatives to Christmas Day dinner. The Christmas Day dinner that I was cooking in my home. I told her to call them back and disinvite them, or I would feel no guilt refusing their entry and her entry to my home when they arrived. She got really angry and complained about how bad it would look on her if she had to phone them back and cancel. I said I didn't care. Christmas Day came and went, and my parents and relatives didn't arrive. She didn't speak to me until March. Every cloud. Alright, well, the community agrees that OP is not the a-hole, and she got different perspectives or ways to deal with this. I absolutely agree with the frontal and honest approach. No, the dress is not for you. And I don't agree with that lying about the dress getting mold. It's unnecessary. Why? Lies have short legs, so it's just a waste of time and energy. Anyways, it's time to move on to the update to see how this story ends. Thank you for all your comments. They gave me good advice and highlighted things I hadn't actually thought about. One suggestion was that I should answer back as soon as possible. That niece might take the silence as no news is good news and imagine that she has permission. I believe she would be the kind of person to post on Facebook, "Thank you, Auntie, for giving me your dress," without getting a response. So I texted her back a few hours after her initial text. The next recommendation was to hide the dress or suggest my mom had already shown her the dress, so get it back. Luckily, my mom doesn't have the dress at her home. It's in my possession and it isn't easy to access. You'd have to know where it is to find it. Our home has cameras, but I don't think this niece is that determined. She's very much a, if it's hard work, I can't be bothered kind of person. I called my daughter and discussed what she would like me to do with the dress. She liked the idea of using pieces for her wedding and maybe making keepsakes for any daughter-in-law who enters our lives, so that decision has been settled. The last recommendation was to ensure that all interested parties were kept in the loop and made aware of my decision, so there was no miscommunication later down the line. So I copied my text response to niece and sent it to my brother and my niece's mother to ensure they all knew. I will tell my own mom when I've calmed down and feel like talking to her again. On to the text. No is a complete answer, but once again, I feel that my mom needed to be called out for her part in all of this. Our mom has a habit of volunteering her family's time and resources to make herself look good. There's a lot of resentment with us kids over this behavior. Hi, niece. Once again, congratulations on the engagement news. I'm so happy for you both. I do still have my dress, but I'm afraid that Nana misled you to believe my dress was available to be loaned out. My dress has great sentimental value to me, and my daughter will be the only other person to have access to it. I'm sure when you contact Nana again, she'll be able to help you find an alternative dress. See you at Easter. Kisses. She texted back immediately, "Okay, thanks anyway." I copied this message to my brother with a comment, "This is for you to deal with in case there is drama. Mom has been trying to play the hero with other people's things again." So that's it for now. I checked niece's Facebook page this morning and there was no passive-aggressive memes or comments that I can see about family not supporting her or not being the favorite, and that's how she likes it. So hopefully this will blow over. Hopefully. Will it be? I would think that there's not going to be any more drama from this, except maybe a discussion with your mom for being an idiot. But if your niece is as so low effort as you claim she is, I don't think she'd want to pursue this anyways. She might try to get the dress from somewhere else. So again, good for you for nipping this in the bud. Take care, Opie, and thank you for sharing. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch it. Now, if you've gotten to this point in the video, I assume that you like these stories that I'm reading out. So here are a couple more that you might enjoy. And if you don't have any time to watch another story right now, save it for later. And also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.